Hello Internet and welcome to Monday the 22nd of June 2020 when I'm all set to ramble about miniatures. I'm Ducky and as always, and starting out with some Reaper bones. First we have the scaly or fishy things from the Bones for Kickstarter, the Dreadmere set. I have a sort of walking fish here, which I went with kind of a yellow-orange red theme. And then this thing, which I don't know what it really is, but it wound up being green and purple, which is a color combination I'm quite fond of. Nothing fancy there. And then I finished the Tree of Despair with the poor victim hanging on it. And let's see if you can see the whole thing. It's unfocused, but let's look at some vultures perched up on there and up here. And yeah, I mean, it's really basic, nothing all that fancy about it. I didn't go wild. Like you see the vultures, their eyes are just black dots, for example. I didn't feel like going into too much detail on them because there wasn't that much sculpted on them, to be honest. And but I felt they're hanging around. Now, I did get a sort of boost to my productivity this week because I didn't mention this, I think, last time, but Tuesday last week was my last day of work for the semester, for the spring semester. So that means that since Wednesday last week, I have been on summer vacation. Now it's a kind of a staycation because, you know, if you're watching this sometime in the future, you might not remember, but this whole Corona pandemic thing is still going on in the summer of 2020, and a lot of things are shut down, like travel, and yeah, a lot of activities are very limited. So, well, the good thing is, if I stay at home, I'll get more painted. I also intend to do a lot of reading this summer. But anyway, let's move on to what else I have painted since last Monday. And as you can see here, I picked up the pace somewhat, and I've actually finished the entire crew of female bandits from Middle Miniatures. Now, realistically speaking, if they're outlaws, they shouldn't be wearing bright outfits. They should be in just plain browns and greens and grays and stuff, but how interesting is that? Realism is overrated. On the game table, it's more fun if they're bright and stand out and have a little bit of pink in their outfits. Yeah, and I mean, these were a ton of fun to paint. Middle miniature sculpts always are, because they have detail, but it's not too much detail, and it's clear detail, so you can easily see what it is you are painting. Yeah, so I'm really happy with how these turned out. And that's it for finished stuff this week. One model that's almost finished, and I want to make a quick note of this that I'm not showing you, is of course the competition model for the Reaper quarterly Facebook group contest. I'm sending in submitting my entry this week. Judging is by they'll put pictures anonymized on the Facebook group, and you can just click like on the ones you like. So it's a completely Athenian democracy here, where everybody gets to vote. Voting starts this Friday on the 26th, and it goes on for a week till next Friday, the 3rd. After which the winner will be the one with the most upvotes. And according to the rules, I can't tell you which model is mine. Just vote for the one you think looks the coolest. I'll put a link to the contest in the show notes here, so you can find it. But for now, let's go to the work table and see what's in progress. Well, here we have some of these I've prepped. Actually started putting some paint on. There's a few metallics and skin tones on these human pirates. The toilet rolls just prepped. Well, primer and a quick dry brush of white so far. Let's go on from there. And the Minotaur is also started a little bit. Not that far along. No issues really. I mean, like I mentioned, the Mink Studios stuff is good resin. Not the bad kind. The one thing I will mention is that if you look at the bow, you'll see that it's a little bit crooked here. That's because it broke and I had to glue it on. It was a little weak, and it actually broke when I was cutting it off the sprue. And I blame myself for being careless, but then I looked at the break and I realized, these hollowed out areas mean that there was an air bubble in the resin at that point. So it was probably inevitable that it would break. That is the danger of resin. Even the best resin might have one of those little accidents with them. Oh well, I don't hold it too much against them. And here's the last you'll see of the rock before it's done and the competition is over. It's primed. I'm gonna and there's some sloppy base coats on the base, but that doesn't give anything away. I mean, everybody's gonna paint them the same way: gray rocks and brown dirt and bone. Oops. And I'm doing it in sub-assemblies, like I'll paint this piece, like I mentioned, the underside first, probably, and then attach it to the base. And the wings will be glued on last of everything. So let's just hope I can treat these pieces gently and not scuff the paint off after I put it on. Oh, we'll see. And here you can see how what Gormal looks like so far. He's primed in my deep red-brown, and then I tried to give it a base coat of violet, but I used the really thin violet paint that came with my airbrush kit. It isn't covering it very well. I think I'm going to let this dry and then try again with some better paint. Anyway, because I think I need to put down like a couple of coats with the airbrush to save some time, because painting all of this by hand will take forever. Looky here, a Kickstarter didn't arrive like this, by the way. There was packing material protecting these minis during transport, but I threw that away. So this is the Kickstarter for bugbears. There's a family of bugbears here. There's several adult bugbears and some baby bugbears, like the one with the mohawk and a slingshot. And for some reason, as a stretch goal, they added a human barbarian mini as well. So there's like, what, 3, 6, 7 models here in total. And they added 3, 6, 7 25mm bases. Not all of these will fit on 25mm bases. This one, well, kind of does, but his feet are outside. I think I'd want to put him on a 30mm just to be safe. But never mind. There's also a selection of shields. This shield on the sprue here is the one I think supposed to go with this guy, but I suppose you could swap out for one of these. I'm not sure when they were added to the project. I don't remember them being added on at any point in any update or stretch goal or like, but hey, why not? Maybe this guy can get a shield. He's got, I mean, the way he's holding his left arm, you could strap a shield on there. That would make sense. He has a weird sword. It looks like there's some sort of parts of a sheath attached to it. It's supposed to be some cool magic fantasy thing, but it just doesn't look right. He's also a little oddly proportioned. It looks like his legs are shorter than his arms. But, oh well. Some odd barbarian tribe. Anyway, I'll start these up right away. I'm going to prep these for next week. Because I can. And just to not have them lying around and taking up space and gathering dust. But I need some more. I need more than 7 minis, so let's have a look at what else I can add to the queue. So I thought I'd go back to Dreadmere as well to fill out the new projects for next week. And I've gone through the box and I picked out a bunch, I think 11 minis that are civilians that aren't carrying weapons but are human and seem like townsfolk. And I'd like to show you an example of one of them. Let's see if it's in, no, there we go. Focus. So this is an example of the detail you get with this new Bones black material, which I'm pretty sure this is because it's harder than the old Bonesium, even though it's not that much darker. So the black, I don't know where that comes from, but this is a fishmonger lady with a little cart with her knives and probably fish inside there as well. Pretty cool, isn't it? And you might have noticed one of these is not a human figure. This is a pack turtle. Sorry, I should have taken this out before. This was actually the mini in a previous painting contest. I've mentioned these contests that Reaper started running on its Facebook page, and a few, I think last time, it was this model with its driver, he's around here somewhere. There's a guy that's supposed to go with it. I think it's this one. It is supposed to be the drover. I wonder where this goes. Well, I'll figure out here somewhere. Oh, like that. So, this is also a cool mini. A little break from just painting humans. I'll have to put this one on a base. A lot of the others have integral bases that I think will do fine. Most of them do, actually. Just a few that I'll do something else with. But yeah, so there we have a bunch of projects. So I'll have plenty of things to do in the coming weeks. And with that, I'll close out this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Click like if you did, subscribe if you haven't done so before, comment on what you thought was especially memorable, and share the video if you want. And be back here again in a week. Same day of the week, Monday as always. Same channel, same me. But for now, Dakian is signing off.